Hi guys, it took me a while, but I'm finally making the video for the other Sharon Cameron book that I wanted to talk about. It's the other one that I got for free. It's called The Forgetting. My copy is an ARC, which I love getting ARCs. I think it's so fun. But even though it's an ARC, there weren't typos, at least nothing that I noticed, and I'm usually pretty good about noticing stuff like that. There weren't any inconsistencies or grammar issues or spelling issues, so that was kind of impressive, to me at least. Okay, so The Forgetting is by Sharon Cameron. I reviewed her book Rook recently. This one was so different, but just like Rook, the writing was incredibly impressive. Her world building is very clear, very organized. I totally understood and could imagine it in my head, which again, like I talked about in Rook, that's not a strong point for me. So I always think that's great when it's so on point. Her characters are great. Again, very, very deep and 3D, not flat at all. So this one, though, to explain the plot to you is going to be a little tricky because I don't want to give anything away. Basically, so Nadia is the main character, and she lives in the city of Canaan, which is surrounded by a big wall. The wall is made of white stone. All the buildings are made of white stone. There's a river that runs through the middle. Everybody has different jobs. Her mom is a dyer. She dyes the fabric. There's people who weave, and the metal workers and glass blowers and all these different jobs. And it's called The Forgetting because every 12 years, the entire city of Canaan forgets everything, literally everything. They go to sleep or pass out. It's unclear at the beginning of the book, and again, I don't want to give things away. And when they wake up after this forgetting, they don't remember their name. They don't remember who their family members are. They don't remember where they are. They don't remember anything. So to help people remember who they are, everybody has a book. And you carry your book with you. It's on your belt or in a pack or whatever. But you always have your book. And every day there's a designated time where you write in your book what's been going on. And you're supposed to write the truth, whether it's good or bad. You're just supposed to write what's going on in your life. So people write their name and who their family members are and what their job is, so that every 12 years when this forgetting happens, they can read their book and remember who they are, right? But here's the thing. Nadia has lived through a forgetting, in her memory. She can remember it. She was old enough to know that she had lived through it. Sorry, that was a little unclear. But the thing is, she didn't forget. So she remembers things from before the forgetting. She remembers experiencing the forgetting, and then her life is continued. So she remembers the different townspeople. She remembers her family. She remembers everything, which includes the bad things that happen leading up to the forgetting, because people know it's coming, so that laws and rules kind of get thrown out the window and people become violent and cruel, and she remembers all of that. Also, Nadia is an adventurer. She doesn't feel like she fits in, and so she climbs the wall and leaves the town, leaves the city. And so it starts off with her almost getting caught because she's left again. And it's just it's about her, and she learns to understand how the forgetting works. She learns more about her city. There's a lot of holes in their backstory and their history. And she just questions their life and their lifestyle, and it's fascinating. Sharon Cameron did an amazing job. It's so interesting. And as it went on, Nadia is kind of this quirky person in her world. And I love when you get books where the main character is slightly off, but in a very real way. Nadia doesn't talk to other people a lot. So when people talk to her, she'll answer in her head, but will answer non-verbally to them with a nod or a shake or a shrug or whatever. And it's not just a quirk. There's more to it. But in their society, that psychological stuff isn't ever explored. So that was something that I found fascinating as well. I think that psychology things are really, really interesting, and why people act the way they do and what's going on in their brain. So I love reading it from a main character who's different, I always think that's cool. Also, Nadia has a sister, Genevieve, who I adored. Genevieve is 12 years old, and she was just one of the best little characters I've ever read in my entire life. She's funny and she's witty and she's so smart and clever, and she, again, is so well-rounded. And even as this little side character, there was so much depth to her, which was really cool. There's family tension in the book. There's obviously this community and governmental issue going on with the whole forgetting and how the city is run. It's kind of a coming of age, find your place. At first I was thinking it was like post-apocalyptic, but it's more kind of science fiction-y, I feel like. Again, because this is an arc, let me see, somewhere it kind of talked about how you would label it with different genres, and I liked the combo that they did. Yeah, here it is in the front from the executive editor at Scholastic Press, Lisa A. Sandel. She says that it's fantasy, dystopian, and science fiction all rolled into one. And I agree with her. It very much is that. Plus there's that little bit of romance that you get all the time in YA. And it was just really, really good. I am so impressed with Sharon Cameron as an author. I think that she's going to continue to spit out great books, and I'm going to continue to love her books. She's just really good. So this came out September 13th, 2016, so even though mine's an arc, it's already out. I really, really encourage you to read this. It'll make you think, which I feel like is what Sharon Cameron is all about. She writes things that are entertaining and fun to read, but they also really make you think. Because what would you be if you had no memory of who you were? You know, if all of that was stripped away, what do you become? It's so fascinating to think about. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. And please leave comments. Talk to me. I would love to have discussions about this. And obviously I had to leave a lot out because I didn't want to give anything away. The plot is so much deeper, and you didn't even, like, you just know pieces of, like, the world. You don't even know the plot yet. So I would love it if you read it and then we could talk, and that would be so cool. So please leave comments. Talk to me. That's why I do these videos. Anyway, keep reading.